One other thing he did say to me is that if you ever get me kicked out of the Navy, I will kill you. And then he said, better yet, I will kill your children in front of you and you will watch, and that will be the punishment for the rest of your life. We actually met when I was married to my first husband. They worked together, and after my first husband and I divorced, it was many years later, but he had joined the military. He seemed to have it together, and he would come to Colorado about every weekend, every other weekend, and we started dating from there. I can look back and see how he reacted to the kids, to my children. His quickness to snap. He did drink very heavily, but he always said that he was just home for the weekend and it was not a typical thing that he did. But the signs before were minimal.
We want respect, but we don't behave in a respectful manner. We want respect, but yet our behavior resembles that of a toddler throwing a tantrum. And that's literally the type, I mean, I equate the two: 5-year-old throwing a tantrum, 28-year-old throwing a tantrum, and, you know, acting out on someone else.
He would be hiding up on the roof of the house listening to the conversation. I wouldn't know he was home, and he would hide in the house for hours upon hours, and he would then hear everything that I was doing.
Even if you don't grow up in an environment that says violence is okay, our society in general says it's okay. We live in a patriarchal society that promotes domination from men over women. Men are taught to dominate, men are taught to be in control, and so that is problematic in a relationship.
The things he would do to let me know that he was always watching were he would repeat verbatim some of my conversations I would have with people that I didn't know he heard. Also, he would tell our daughter, who was very small at the time, he would put googly eyes, like the kind you get like at a craft store, on her shoes and tell her that he was always watching. He also would tell her that he was hiding in the bushes outside of our bedroom window watching her sleep. And this picture was in Agrigento, which is the Valley of Temples. And in that container right there is pretty much straight vodka. At that moment, I was smiling. My son was taking the picture, and he said, "I fucking hate this bitch," right as my son was getting ready to take the picture. So that, I'm pretty sure the expression on my face went from a smile to what just happened. When I got back down, went down this little hill where he was taking the picture, he said, "I heard that, Mom." He just wanted me to know that he had my back, that he heard what he had said.
Anger is like the engine light in your car. The engine light comes on and that just lets you know something's underneath that and that's wrong. And so it's important to go underneath to deal with all of those issues.
We were prisoners in our own home. And it took my son, I said at one moment, I said, "I miss him." And my son at 13 years of age got in my face and he said, "Mom, what part do you miss? Do you miss being punched in the head every single day? Do you miss us getting beat up? Do you miss getting beat up? Do you miss being called names all the time? Do you miss me getting called names all the time? What part of that do you miss, Mom?" And he was angry and frustrated and scared. It took my son to knock some sense into me. I truly appreciate my daughter. She doesn't need to know who he was. But the problem is that some of these things have already been ingrained in her. So I have to, as best as I can, try to steer her in the direction to not be abused by people. I'm going to school now, I'm really, almost daily, it's like this bigger understanding that, you know, I got this, you know, and I'm gonna make a difference, and my daughter's gonna make a difference, and that they can't hurt us anymore. I think the biggest thing comes from within is just to realize that enough is enough, and that all it takes is one split second, and a child could be dead, or you could be dead, and then these children grow up with no parents, and more than likely the cycle will then continue. Rising Hearts is actually one that I loved because they are actually willing to relocate the family, which is 99% of the battle. If you can get out of the area safely and essentially start over, that is huge. That is something that was never offered to me before. And had my ex not passed away, I would have been relocating once I learned of Rising Hearts.